vegetable sandwich. I got a hummus wrap, and Mom got a hummus plate.
Yeah. Nice. One of those hummus wraps mine.
You love hummus, don't you?
Oh, I'm in love with hummus.
So I ordered hummus thinking that Mom would love it, and I'm like, what would she like up on the menu? So I got a whole bunch of hummus-related food, and she said,
I'm not crazy about
she
it.
hates hummus.
Yeah.
How did I not know that?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, more for us.
You might have seen me not eat it on many occasions.
But she said she's so hungry she'll eat
hungry.
anything.
Yeah.
All right.
This is the band shell for Lake Harriet. It's a beautiful building, isn't it? Mm-hmm. A little history about this area. Lake Harriet was named for Harriet Lovejoy, and she was the wife of Colonel Leavenworth, who started Fort Snelling in 1819. I was right.
Just checking her notes.
Yeah.
Yup, that was the right.
Yeah, that was
right date.
Okay. And also in the late 1800s, actually about 1884, Minneapolis started a park board. And in the 1880s, they decided Lake Harriet would be a beautiful place for a park. All the park board said yes. So they started to inquire for the property owners around the lake, and it was prohibitive, the amount that they'd have to pay. $300,000, and that was
A lot
before
back then.
1884.
Yeah.
So three landowners around lakeshore owners around the lake decided that they'd donate their land to the park board because they wanted a park here. It's such a beautiful area. And it went through. They were so happy. The board was ecstatic about the fact that they would get this for nothing. But then there was a clincher. They went back into the title and they found out that another man owned all of it, really. And so the deal fell through.
And his last name was King.
He was William King. And he, in his largesse, another word, decided that he'd donate it all. And he did.
Nice.
So many improvements were made around the area. And 1986, this building right here was built. And I think it's gorgeous.
Yep. And what happens here every weekend in the summer?
Oh, there's
music.
Yeah, music and movies.
Oh, yeah.
On the off nights or whatever, there's
Cool.
movies also.
Yeah.
And there's picnic areas, and you can rent canoes and kayaks and bikes and
Yep,
paddle
canoes and
boards
kayaks,
and
all that
boats.
stuff's over there.
Yeah. So you can get out on that lake too. And here there's picnic, like I said, picnic areas, but there's bike and walking areas. It's just a lovely place to
and
be.
and right up there is the play area, and we used to come and have picnics up there with the
Yes.
kids when they were little.
And Mom.
Oh yeah, and Grandma came here too.
Yeah.
We would get her up with her, take her up the path as far as we could, have her walk over with her walker, and she was determined to hang out with us as long as she could.
And we were determined to have her hang out as long as she could. So
And then so we would hang out and then have our little cup of tea that Mom would bring in a thermos, and then the kids would play in the playground for a long time.
This is what I really think was interesting, is that in 1963, the trials for the Olympics, speed skating, were held here on Lake Harriet. Two of the local skaters from this area were got on the Olympic team.
Oh, nice.
For speed skating.
Nice.
Skating.
Skating. Yeah. In between my college years, I worked for a daycare chain, and I was in charge of the whole elementary school age program. So we had a 10-week schedule that I had to make field trips for. And we always came down here once a summer because they had this little, it was a steamboat type thing. And so all my little elementary kids and I would come down in the van and park and go out in the steamboat, and the kids thought that was so cool.
I don't blame them.
I know.
Where is it now?
I don't know. It's long gone. Times change.
That's
Times
crazy.
change.
It's worth all that these civic-minded people, all the hours and the money spent to provide this, and their hope was that in the future people would enjoy it.
Yeah. So if you're interested, you can find the music schedule, the concert schedule on the website for this place.
And so on nights, people bring their blankets or their quilts or their chairs or whatever.
And their families and picnics.
And their drink and whatever they want. And they just, they cover the whole lawns here. And then, of course, all of that seating there is filled. And just sit here on a beautiful summer night and listen to music.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We've done it before.
That smacks of yesteryear, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yep. Except now they bring bottles of Pinot Grigio. And their little plastic cups.
They used to be bringing little pails of beer.
Yeah, we went from beer to wine society. So very fancy. You just walk around and everyone's drinking their Pinot Grigio.
Yes. Harriet Lake area got so popular and the population of the Twin Cities and around that the Minneapolis Streetcar Association decided to send tracks out here. And for 74 years, this train took people out here to enjoy this area and also took people downtown and also took people to the University of Minnesota for their classes.
Yeah. Oh, from here to the U of M.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And then it was defunct for a while. It closed down, but
Mom's reading her information.
In 1969, they decided that they wanted to have it going again. So they refurbed the tracks, which had, I suppose, deteriorated, and did the same with the cars. And so it started up again. And it goes 3 times a week, did you say?
Yeah, so on the door over there's a brochure of different times that you can just pay like $2.50.
Heritage.
So it's kind of cool for families to come and have the kids take a little spin on the old streetcar, and it's refurbished to look like an old streetcar from 100 years ago. Yeah. So it's kind of cool.
Yep.
Just a little jaunt down that way and back up 15 minutes.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's a beautiful area. And now we're going to go have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea at a restaurant close by in the Linden shopping area.
Linden Hills
shopping area.
So here we are in the Linden Hills area, and it's a very lovely area with really nice homes and a whole street full of cafes and shops and like this Victory place, which is probably vintage, antique-y stuff.
Hibiscus tea.
Yep. So this is called Penny's Cafe, and it used to be a car garage. And so what they did was they took the 2 garages over there, and they left them in there, and then on summer days like this, they just put the garage doors up. Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
Yeah, I like it when they take old spaces like this in Minneapolis and they turn it into a hip cafe. Does this make you want to come down to Minneapolis more and go to hip cafes?
With you driving, yes.
Yes.
Not me.
Why? Yeah.
There's too many one-ways, and I don't know the area that well. No, I like coming down here, but I like you driving or the girls driving. This vlogging that we're doing is introducing me to many things I've never seen before. And that's what's fun. And then that's the beauty of doing things around home. You know, we can just go scoot for 3 or 4 hours and scoot back home again if we want. So
yeah, definitely. That's nice. Yeah, it's like we travel for the afternoon here, and then we get to go home, and then, you know, the more you travel, the more you appreciate home too. So I'm very, very glad to be home. I love where we live, especially in the summer. Tolerate it in the winter. So I think we will go next door. I think we're going to... Someone's moving a chair.
Somebody brought in a car to get fixed.
Yeah, really. Either it's a car engine or it's someone moving their chair on this concrete floor. We are going to go next door, and we probably will not bring you with us because it's an antique store.
Yeah.
You know.
Nobody but me will be interested. Possibly.
Right, yeah.
Possibly.
Very vintagey stuff. That wraps it up for today.
Yep.
And any last thoughts, Mom?
No, thank you so much for having this idea to do these vlogs. It's just been an absolute delight for me. Just a delight. What an addition to my life.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, and then I can do them with you.
Well, I agree, 100%.